The siren wailed like a banshee in the storm, slicing through the relentless Seattle rain that hammered my windshield like accusations I couldn't outrun. I gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles bleached white, heart slamming against my ribs as the red and blue lights swallowed my rearview mirror hole. This wasn't just a traffic stop. It was the universe's cruel joke pulling me over on the night I'd finally decided to stop hiding who I was. My name is Alex Rivera, and at 28, I'd built a life in this drizzly corner of the Pacific Northwest that looked perfect from the outside. A freelance graphic designer with a cozy apartment overlooking Puget Sound, weekends hiking the Olympics, and a circle of friends who laughed off my single status as artistic eccentricity. But beneath the curated Instagram feed, I was a ghost in my own skin. 28 years of burying the truth that I was gay, terrified of the rejection that had scarred me since high school in East LA, where whispers could turn into fists. Tonight, though, something had cracked. I'd been driving home from a gallery opening in Capitol Hill, the kind where rainbow flags fluttered unapologetically and men held hands without a second glance. For the first time, I'd let myself linger, chatting with a guy named Theo whose smile had stirred something dormant in me. It felt like freedom until those lights hit. I killed the engine, hands visible on the dash like I'd seen in 100 cop shows, though nothing prepared you for the real thing. The rain blurred the figure stepping out of the patrol car, his silhouette broad and unyielding against the storm. He approached slowly, flashlight beam cutting through the deluge like a scalpel, landing on my face. I squinted, breath catching as he loomed at my window. "License and registration," he said, voice deep and steady, carrying the weight of authority that made my pulse stutter for reasons that had nothing to do with fear. I fumbled in the glove box, water dripping from my hair onto the documents as I handed them over. Up close, he was striking, mid-30s, African-American, with skin like polished mahogany, a jaw carved from resolve, and eyes so dark they seemed to hold secrets deeper than the sound itself. His name tag read Officer Jordan Hayes, and the way his uniform hugged his frame, tailored just enough to hint at the power beneath, sent an unwelcome heat coiling low in my gut. "Get it together, Alex. This is not the time." He scanned the papers under his light, rain beating on his hat like diamonds on obsidian. "Do you know why I pulled you over, Mr. Rivera?" I swallowed, forcing my voice even. "Speeding? The roads are slick. I swear I wasn't going over 50. A ghost of a smile tugged at his lips, gone so fast I wondered if I'd imagined it. "Tail light out. But that's not why you're sweating like you just robbed a bank." His gaze flicked up, pinning me in place, and in that moment, the air between us thickened, charged with something electric and forbidden. It wasn't accusation in his eyes. It was curiosity, laced with a hunger that mirrored my own buried ache. He handed back my license, our fingers brushing just long enough to spark. "Everything checks out. Drive safe." But he didn't step away. Instead, he leaned in closer, voice dropping to a murmur that cut through the rain. "You from around here? Look like you've got a story." My throat tightened. Stories. If he only knew the one screaming inside me. The one about a kid who'd fled LA after his father's homophobic rants turned the dinner table into a battlefield. The one about dates I'd ghosted because vulnerability felt like surrender. Just passing through life, I quipped, aiming for casual, landing on raw. His laugh was low, rumbling like distant thunder. "Aren't we all?" Then, as if the storm itself conspired, a crack of lightning illuminated his face, highlighting the faint scar above his brow, the subtle tension in his shoulders that spoke of burdens heavier than a badge. He straightened, but not before I caught the way his eyes lingered on my lips. "Get that light fixed. And watch the curves ahead. They sneak up on you." He tapped my roof and retreated to his cruiser, leaving me adrift in the downpour, heart racing not from the stop, but from the dangerous pull he'd ignited. I drove home in a daze, replaying that brush of skin, that unspoken what-if. Little did I know, Jordan Hayes wasn't just a cop on a rainy night. He was the curve I never saw coming, the one that would upend my world and force me to face the fears I'd chained myself to. The next morning, sunlight pierced the clouds like an apology, but my mind was still tangled in last night's encounter. I nursed coffee at my kitchen table, sketching absent-mindedly on my tablet, a rough outline of a man in uniform, shadows playing across his face. Why him? Why now? I'd flirted harmlessly before, in bars where anonymity reigned, but this felt different. Real. Reckless. Work pulled me back, a deadline for a client's rebrand, emails piling up like unanswered questions. By afternoon, I was deep in revisions when my phone buzzed, an unknown number. Hesitant, I answered. Mr. Rivera, this is Officer Hayes. From last night. My mug slipped, coffee sloshing onto the counter. Ow! Did I forget something? A pause, then that voice again, warm as aged whiskey. No, just checking if you got home safe. Roads were bad. I leaned against the sink, pulse quickening. I did. Thanks. You didn't have to. Call it protocol. Another beat. Or curiosity. You seemed off. Everything all right. The concern in his tone unraveled me. No one had checked on me like that since my mom, back before she passed, and left me navigating grief alone. Yeah, just a long night. Listen, if you're free tonight, there's a dive bar off Aurora Avenue. Rusty Anchor. Decent wings, no frills. Off-duty spot for guys like me to unwind. Was this happening? A cop inviting me out? My mind raced. Danger signs flashing. Power imbalance, my closet, his job. But the pull was stronger. I'm in. Hey, see you there. I hung up, staring at my reflection in the window. Disheveled hair, eyes bright with terror and thrill. This was madness. But for the first time, madness felt like hope. The Rusty Anchor smelled of stale beer and fried grease. Neon signs buzzing like fireflies in the dim haze. I spotted him at a corner booth, out of uniform in a black Henley that stretched across his chest, sleeves rolled to reveal forearms corded with quiet strength. He nursed a beer, gaze lifting as I approached, lighting with something unguarded. Alex, glad you made it. He stood, handshake firm, thumb grazing my palm in a way that wasn't accidental. We ordered wings, talked easy at first. Me about design gigs that paid the bills but starved the soul, him about patrols that blurred into monotony, the weight of a badge in a city where trust eroded like coastline. Seattle's underbelly, he called it. The overdoses in Belltown, the protests that turned violent, the personal toll of seeing humanity at its rawest. You're good at this, I said after my second beer, the alcohol loosening the knot in my chest, making the chaos sound poetic. He chuckled, eyes crinkling. Gotta find the poetry somewhere. Grew up in Tacoma, foster kid bouncing homes. Streets taught me to read between lines. Foster kid, the word hung, echoing my own displacements. LA transplant here. Dad was complicated. Mom died young. Learned early that fitting in meant folding parts of yourself away. Our knees brushed under the table, neither pulling back. The bar faded, narrowing to us. The spark, the shared silences heavy with what-ifs. Ever feel like you're still folding? He asked, voice low. Every day, but I said trying not to. His hand covered mine then, brief but deliberate, sending fire through my veins. Good, because unfolding? It's the bravest thing. We left together, rain easing to mist. And my car, he hesitated. This us, it's complicated. My job, expectations. I nodded, heart aching with recognition. Closeted, both of us dancing on the edge. I get it. But tonight, he murmured, leaning in. Our lips met soft, tentative, then deepening with the hunger of years denied. Rain kissed our skin as we parted, breathless, the world remade in that stolen moment. But danger wasn't just the kiss. It was the shadow lurking. As I drove away, I missed the black sedan tailing me, its driver noting my plates with cold precision. Days blurred into a secret rhythm. Late-night texts that made me grin at 2 a.m., stolen lunches where his laugh chased my doubts. Jordan was a revelation, tender in ways his uniform concealed, quoting Baldwin over takeout, his touch mapping my scars like they were constellations. I opened to him, confessing the high school beating that locked me away, the parade I'd skipped last Pride out of paralyzing fear. You're not that kid anymore, he'd whisper, fingers tracing my spine in the dim of my apartment. You're here, with me. And God, it felt like salvation. But cracks formed. He'd tense at sirens outside, glance over his shoulder in crowds. One night, post-dinner at a hole-in-the-wall type place, he confided, internal affairs sniffing around. Corruption in the precinct, kickbacks from dealers. I'm clean, but suspicion sticks. My stomach nodded. You in danger? Always. His smile didn't reach his eyes. But you? You're the risk I didn't plan for. The words thrilled and terrified. I pushed for more. Our first real date, a hike in Discovery Park, hands intertwined on the trail. Under evergreens dripping dew, we kissed with the ferocity of men claiming stolen time, the sound crashing below like applause. Yet the tale followed. Unseen, it documented photos of us at the park, timestamps on my car near his precinct. The driver, a disgraced ex-cop named Harlan, seethed with grudge against Jordan for whistleblowing on a bus gone wrong years back. Harlan's network ran deep, feeding intel to those who'd silence a traitor cop, and now his lover. I sensed it first as unease, a prickle on my neck at the grocery store, shadows too long in my rear view. Paranoia, I told myself, but Jordan's world was bleeding into mine. It erupted on a Friday. I was at my desk, tweaking logos while my door rattled, pounded really. Two men in cheap suits, badges glinting. Alex Rivera? FBI. We need to talk. My blood iced. They crowded my living room, faces like stone. Your boyfriend, Officer Hayes. He's under investigation for aiding a suspect. Evidence points to you as accessory. Lies, I stammered, world tilting. He's not. One slid photos across my coffee table. Us kissing in the park, my car outside a warehouse Jordan had raided. Care to explain? Panic clawed me. I thought of his confessions, the precinct rot. Was he playing me? No, his eyes, his touch, they were real. But doubt festered, a poison. They left with warnings. Cooperate or face charges. I called him, voice breaking. Jordan? What's happening? Silence, then ragged breath. Alex, listen, get out. Now. Harlan's gunning for me, and you're collateral. Harlan. The name clicked. Jordan had mentioned him once, a bitter footnote. Why me? Because hurting you hurts me more. His voice cracked. I love you, damn it. That's the danger. Love. The word detonated, scattering my fears like shrapnel. But fear replied, run. I didn't. Instead, I drove to the precinct, rain lashing anew, heart a war drum. Security eyed me, but I demanded Jordan. Minutes stretched eternal until he appeared, uniform crisp, eyes hollowed by exhaustion. Alex, what the hell? I grabbed his arm, pulling him into a shadowed hallway. Tell me everything. No more shadows. He sagged against the wall, the mighty oak bending. Harlan's ring, extortion drugs. I reported it anonymously, but he traced it. Now he's framing me, using you to break me. Tears stung. And the FBI? His puppets. But I have proof, recordings, docs. We fight this together. Together. I cupped his face, thumbs brushing stubble. I'm not running. His kiss was fierce, a vow sealed in desperation. But as we parted, alarms blared, shouts echoing. Lockdown. Shots fired. Chaos erupted. Harlan's men, storming for the evidence locker. Jordan shoved me behind a desk, drawing his sidearm. Stay down. Gunfire cracked, plaster exploding. I crawled, phone in hand, dialing 911 with trembling fingers. Jordan fired back, a roar of defiance, but a bullet grazed his shoulder, blood blooming dark. No! I lunged, dragging him to cover as reinforcements swarmed. Harlan burst in, wild-eyed, gun raised. Traitor, you and your pretty boy, ruining everything. Jordan wheezed, pressing his gun hand. It's over, Harlan. Feds are en route. A standoff, seconds eternal. Harlan's finger twitched, then sirens wailed outside, floodlights piercing windows. He faltered, back up tackling him amid shouts and cuffs. Medics rushed Jordan, stitching his wound in the hall while I held his hand, whispering nonsense about sunrises over the sound. You saved me, he murmured, pale but unbroken. We saved each other. The aftermath was a whirlwind. Arrests, headlines decrying precinct corruption. Jordan hailed as hero. But the real story unfolded in quiet. Therapy sessions where we unpacked closets, his coming out to a stunned family who, against odds, embraced him. My first pride, hand in his, rainbows no longer distant dreams. Months later, on that same highway where it began, I pulled over, not in fear but invitation. Jordan stepped from his cruiser, no lights flashing, just a grin that lit the dusk. We stood in the rain, rings glinting on our fingers, simple bands, vows exchanged in a courthouse ceremony, witnessed by friends who'd become family. You pulled me over that night, I said, pulling him close. But you set me free. His kiss tasted of salt and storm, a promise. Love, the most dangerous force, was worth every risk. In each other's arms, we were whole. Two men who'd faced the abyss and chosen light, proving that the greatest threats weren't badges or bullets, but the silence we shattered together. The rain had softened to a persistent drizzle by the time Jordan and I collapsed onto my couch that first real night together, the weight of his confession still hanging in the air like fog over the bay. His shoulder was bandaged, a stark white against his skin, but he waved off my fussing with a tired smile that crinkled the corners of his eyes. It's just a flesh wound, Alex. Seen worse on a Tuesday. I hovered anyway, fetching ice and painkillers, my mind a whirlwind of what-ifs. The precinct siege replayed in flashes. The acrid bite of gunpowder, Harlan's snarl twisting into defeat as tactical teams swarmed. Jordan had been right. The evidence he'd squirreled away in a secure drop box vindicated him, unraveling Harlan's web like a house of cards in a gale. But victory tasted bittersweet, laced with the metallic tang of blood and the hollow echo of near loss. "Sit," he commanded gently, patting the cushion beside him. I obeyed, our thighs pressing warm, and he draped an arm around me, pulling me into the solid anchor of his body. His scent, clean soap undercut with the faint ozone of rain, grounded me, chasing the adrenaline crash. "Tell me about before," I murmured, tracing the scar on his forearm, a silvery reminder from a foster home brawl. "The folding you mentioned." He sighed, fingers combing through my hair. "Tacoma wasn't kind. Bounced between homes after Mom OD'd when I was 10. Dad's, foster ones, saw a black kid with a chip on his shoulder funnel me into sports to straighten me out. I played along, buried the rest. Joined a force-thinking structure would fix me. It did in ways. Gave purpose. But the job, it's a closet within a closet. Frat boy culture, don't ask, don't tell vibes. One slip and you're sidelined." I nodded, the resonance aching. My dad was the same, machismo on steroids. Real men don't. He'd thunder, Bible in one hand, belt in the other. After Mom died of cancer when I was 16, he doubled down, shipping me to relatives in Seattle like I was a problem to export. I designed my way out, logos for queer-owned businesses under pseudonyms, safe from scrutiny. But dating? Nah, too many ghosts. His thumb grazed my jaw, tilted my chin up. Ghosts don't get to win. Not anymore. The kiss that followed was slow, exploratory, mapping the contours of trust we'd only begun to build. It deepened, hands roaming with the reverence of survivors, shedding layers until skin met skin in the lamplight. We made love for the first time there, on that worn couch, with the tenderness of men who'd waited lifetimes. His body over mine was a revelation, strong lines yielding to soft urgency, whispers of my name like prayers. I arched into him, gasps mingling with the patter of rain, every touch erasing a fraction of the isolation. When we shattered together, it wasn't just release, it was reclamation. Afterward, tangled in sheets, I dragged from the bedroom. We lay whispering futures. "What now?" I asked, head on his chest, heartbeat a steady lullaby. "Now, we live." Out loud. He kissed my temple. "Dinner tomorrow? My place, chili from scratch. No sirens, promise." I laughed, the sound foreign and free. Deal. But freedom's path was paved with pitfalls. Monday brought the media circus. Reporters camped outside the precinct, microphones thrusting like spears. "Officer Hayes, is it true you're gay? Does that affect your heroism?" one shouted as Jordan navigated the gauntlet. He stiffened beside me in the parking lot. I'd come to drive him home, solidarity my silent vow. But his reply was steel. "My personal life doesn't define my duty." Next question. In the car, tension coiled. "That was out there." "Yeah." He rubbed his neck. "Captain pulled me aside today. Congratulated the bravery, but the side-eye? Subtle as a sledgehammer. Whispers in the locker room already. Rage simmered in me. Screw them. You deserve." "I know." His hand squeezed my knee. "And I want this us visible. But it's a marathon, Alex. One step." That step came unevenly. At work, my inbox overflowed. Clients praising the inspirational couple. Others ghosting with polite realignments. I lost a contract with a conservative firm. Their email a veiled barb about brand integrity. It stung, but Jordan's arms that night mended the bruise. "Their loss," he growled, cooking pasta with fierce concentration. "We'll build our own world." Our world expanded in fragments. A weekend getaway to the San Juans, ferry slicing through mist-shrouded waters, where we hiked to lighthouses and made love on secluded beaches, sand gritty between toes. There, under stars unpolluted by city glare, he proposed, not with rings but words. "Marry me, Alex." Not for show. For us. Tears pricked. Yes. God, yes. But shadows lingered. Harlan's trial loomed, his lawyers digging for dirt, subpoenaing our texts, painting Jordan as unstable, me as a destabilizing influence. Depositions were grueling. Me recounting the park kiss under fluorescent lights, voice steady but soul frayed. It was love, I insisted to the stone-faced attorney. Not leverage. Jordan fared worse, reliving the Foster scars, the Badge's toll. Nights after, he'd wake thrashing, nightmares of Badges turning to bars. I'd hold him then, murmuring, "You're safe. We're safe." One evening, post-court, we sought refuge at a queer open mic in Fremont. The air hummed with vulnerability, poets spilling heartaches, singers crooning anthems of resilience. Jordan, beer in hand, tensed at first, but a drag queen's fierce ballad about loving fiercely despite the world's teeth loosened him. "This," he said, arm around me as applause thundered, "this is what we fight for." Applause turned to us when a comedian spotted the hero cop in the crowd. Mike thrust our way. "Tell us, officer, how's the missus?" Laughter rippled, but Jordan stood, pulling me up. "No missus. But this man? He's my everything." The room erupted, cheers washing over us like balm. Yet trial day dawned brutal. Courthouse steps swarmed with protesters. Anti-cop on one side, blue lives on the other, signs clashing like thunderheads. Inside, Harlan's glare bored into Jordan from the dock, venom distilled. Testimonies dragged, crooked deals exposed, my voice echoing as I detailed the tale, the photos planted to intimidate. Closing arguments peaked with the prosecutor unveiling the smoking gun. Harlan's recorded bribe demand, Jordan's anonymous tip timestamped. The jury deliberated hours that felt like eons, us huddled in a witness room, hands clasped, prayers unspoken. Guilty. The gavel fell like liberation. Harlan led away in chains, his empire crumbled. Outside, flashes popped, but we slipped away, Jordan's good arm around me. "It's done." "Not done," I corrected, hailing a cab to the ferry terminal. "Just beginning." We sailed to Bainbridge that night, toasting with cheap wine on the deck, city lights receding like conquered foes. "To unfolding," he said, clinking glasses. To us, life post-trial settled into a rhythm that felt dangerously normal, the kind of ordinary I'd craved but never trusted. Jordan returned to light duty, desk work shuffling reports while his shoulder healed, and I dove into a passion project, a graphic novel about two men navigating love's minefield, inspired by us but veiled in metaphor. Our apartment, now ours, with his duffel in the corner and my sketches mingled with his police academy photos, became a sanctuary of inside jokes and lazy Sundays. But normalcy bred complacency, and complacency invited old demons. It started small, Jordan's lingering glances at the precinct door, my hesitation when friends pushed for a coming-out party. "We're out," I'd argue, but the truth nod. Out to each other, yes, but the world still demanded performance. The breaking point came mid-autumn, leaves carpeting Queen and streets in crimson defiance. Jordan's captain summoned him for a commendation ceremony, public, prime time, with the mayor presiding. With a dress blues, the invite read, "Bring your +1. Excitement warred with dread. "This could be it," Jordan said over breakfast, fork pausing mid-bite of eggs. "Official stamp. No more whispers." I forced a smile, stomach churning. "Yeah, spotlight suits you." The night arrived crisp, air buzzing with flashbulbs and small talk. City Hall glowed, brass and banners proclaiming valor. I stood beside him in a tailored gray suit, feeling exposed, my hand itching for his but settling on a podium grip. Speeches droned, mayor's platitudes on heroes among us, counselors lauding Jordan's integrity in the face of adversity. Then, Jordan's turn. He stepped to the mic, voice resonant. "Thank you. But heroism? It's not solo. It's the partner who drags you from cover under fire, the love that makes the badge bearable." His eyes found mine, steady. "Alex Rivera, this is for you." Applause thundered, but beneath it, an undercurrent. Murmurs from the ranks, a colonel's tight-lipped nod. We accepted the plaque together, his arm around my waist for the photo op, the click of shutters sealing our narrative. After, at the reception, champagne flowed, congratulations laced with subtext. A veteran sergeant clapped Jordan's back. "Proud of you, kid. Just keep it professional." The words landed like a velvet glove slap. In the cab home, silence thickened. "That wasn't so bad," I ventured. He stared out the window, jaw set. It was a cage with a bow. They celebrated the hero, tolerated the queer. My chest tightened. "We knew." "I know." He turned, eyes stormy. "But I want more. For us. For the kid I was hiding in Tacoma basements." The fight ignited slow, embers to blaze. "And what about me? The spotlight terrifies me too. I'm not ready for parades and panels." "You're ready for everything else. Why not this?" Hurt edged his tone. Because losing you to their judgment, it's not abstract. Voices rose, words weaponized. My cowardice, his impatience. We parted in the hallway, doors slamming like guillotine drops. I crashed on the couch, sleep evading in the witching hours. Regret gnawed. What if this was the fold creeping back? Dawn brought coffee and a note on the counter. I love you. Let's talk. Gee. We met at our park bench in Discovery, fog cloaking the trees like a truce flag. I'm scared, I admitted, hands clasped. Of the world, but mostly of losing the quiet us. He nodded, thumb stroking my knuckles. Me too. But hiding? It stars us. Let's find middle ground. Counseling, maybe. Slow steps. Therapy became our lifeline. A queer-affirming counselor in Capitol Hill unpacking layers. Sessions peeled back my LA armor, Jordan's badge bravado. Vulnerability isn't weakness, she'd say. And slowly, it sank in. Healing manifested in acts. Jordan joining a police LGBTQ plus alliance, speaking at recruit trainings, me illustrating pride posters, my name bold. We hosted a dinner, friend from my art circle, his precinct allies, laughter bridging worlds, toast to resilience. Winter deepened, holidays looming like tests. Jordan's family, scattered in Tacoma, invited us for Christmas, his first with a partner, their acceptance tentative but earnest. His sister, Lena, hugged me fierce. He lights up around you. That's enough. New Year's, we rang in on my balcony, fireworks blooming over the sound. Resolutions? He asked, nuzzling my neck. More us. Less fear. His grin flashed. Perfect. But fate, ever the trickster, had one more twist. Spring brought a promotion offer for Jordan, detective, undercover ops and vice. High stakes, long hours, danger dialed up. It's a chance to clean house from inside, he said, eyes alight. Doubt flickered. After Harlan? The risk. I know the risks. He cut my face. But with you, I faced them stronger. We waited nights, pros against perils. Ultimately, he accepted, badge evolving, our love the constant. Summer solstice, Pride weekend, we marched, not as spectators but participants. Rainbow flags aloft, his hand in mine. The crowds were a symphony of solidarity. In that throng, sweat slick and euphoric, I saw our story reflected. Two men, scarred but standing, love a defiant banner. As Jordan's detective life ramped up, our days fractured into stolen slivers. Him vanishing into shadowed alleys chasing leads on a fentanyl ring, me burning midnight oil on commissions that paid, but didn't fulfill. The apartment echoed with absence, my sketches piling like unanswered letters. I missed him fiercely, the ache a constant companion, but pride swelled too. Watching him suit up, resolve etched in every line. One muggy July evening, he stumbled in at dawn, bruised knuckles and haunted eyes. Bust went sideways, he muttered, collapsing beside me in bed. Suspect bolted, kid got caught in crossfire. 9 years old. I held him as sobs racked his frame, the unbreakable man fracturing. You couldn't. I know, his voice muffled against my shoulder. But it eats you. The what-ifs. We lay tangled, my fingers soothing his back, words inadequate bridges over grief. Morning brought coffee and calls, department shrink, union rep, but the shadow clung, darkening his smiles. It peaked in August, a stakeout stretching days. I paced our living room, phone silent, imagination conjuring worst cases, bullets, betrayals. When he finally texted, home soon, love you, relief flooded, chased by frustration. I met him at the door, words tumbling. I can't keep doing this, waiting like a ghost. He dropped his bag, exhaustion carving hollows. Alex, it's the job. You knew. I know, tears welled. But the fear? It's devouring me. The argument sliced deep, old wounds reopening. His drive versus my stability, love tangled in logistics. Maybe we need space, he said finally, voice hollow. Space. The word gutted me. Days blurred. Him crashing at a buddy's. Me burying in work. The apartment a tomb of half-eaten meals and unsent texts. Friends noticed, prying gently. Theo from the gallery, now a confidant over beers. Fight for it. Real love? It's messy but worth the bruises. Wisdom landed, spurring action. I dug into research, cop partner support groups, books on resilience. One night, I showed at his precinct, badge clipped to my lanyard as a visitor. Dinner, I said, holding takeout bags. No ultimatums. Just us. He emerged, surprise softening to warmth. We ate on the hood of his unmarked car in the lot. City Hum's soundtrack. Missed this, he admitted, stealing a fry. Me too. I leaned in. But the job, it's killing us slow. Compromise? Shorter rotations, therapy together. He nodded, pausing. Yeah, and you? Lean on me more. Don't bottle. It was a pact, fragile but forged. Fall brought balance. Him opting for joint ops with partners who got it. Me joining a queer artist collective, collaborations blooming. We vacationed to the Oregon coast, cannonballing waves, bonfires crackling with stories. His Tacoma tales, my LA dreams. Thanksgiving, we hosted Lena and her kids, my aunt from Pasadena, a motley crew bridged by gratitude. As pie steamed, Jordan raised his glass. To family, chosen and fought for. Winter whispered change. December, snow dusting the sound. Jordan knelt by our tree. Not with fanfare, but quiet certainty. Alex Rivera, you've pulled me over 100 times, made me face curves I dodged. Marry me. Officially. The ring was simple tungsten, engraved unfold together. Yes, I choked, pulling him up into a kiss salty with joy. Wedding planning wove whimsy into routine. Venue a waterfront loft. Vows handwritten. Cake rainbow layered. Invites went wide. Precinct brass. Art patrons. Families mending fences. Nerves jangled, but Jordan's hand and mine steadied. The day dawned golden. Seattle skyline a benevolent witness. I waited at the altar, heart thundering, as he walked the aisle in tuxedo sharp as his resolve, eyes locked on mine. Vows exchanged. In shadows and storms, I choose you. Rings slid on, sealing eternity. Reception pulsed, dancing under string lights, toasts laced with laughter. His captain, once wary, clapped shoulders. You two? Department's lucky. Honeymoon in Hawaii. Trade winds healing old fractures. On a black sand beach, toes in surf, we dreamed aloud. Adopting one day, maybe a kid needing the stability we craved. Back home, life deepened. Jordan's promotion stabilized. Vice ring dismantled under his lead. My graphic novel launched to acclaim. Pages of us immortalized. Pride that year, we led a contingent. Badges and brushes united, symbol of defiance. Yet trials lingered, subtle. A rookie's slur in the hall, a client's microaggression. We navigated, stronger, counseling check-ins, date nights sacred. One anniversary eve, rain lashing windows, he pulled me close. That pullover? Best ticket I ever wrote. I laughed, kissing him deep. Dangerous man. Ours, he murmured. In each other's gaze, we saw the arc. From fear's grip to love's embrace, a testament that the heart's pull, wild and uncharted, charts the truest path. Years folded like well-worn pages, our story etching deeper into Seattle's fabric. Jordan climbed ranks to sergeant, mentoring rookies on integrity and inclusion, his voice a beacon in locker room echoes. I flourished in the art scene, gallery shows selling out, my work, vibrant portraits of queer resilience, adorning cafes and clinics. Our home, a craftsman in Ballard, brimmed with life. Bookshelves groaning under Baldwin and Baldwin-inspired tomes. Walls alive with our joint mural. A highway curving into rainbows. But time's gift is perspective, and with it came tests of endurance. At 35, Jordan faced a crossroads. Lieutenant offer, administrative drudgery versus street grit. Desk job means home more. He confided over wine, fire crackling. Unless you, I countered, tracing his wedding band. The fire that drew me. We chose hybrid. Leadership with field oversight, balance our North Star. Sacrifice shaped us. Him missing my opening for a stakeout. Me canceling hike for his award banquet. Apologies bloomed into deeper bonds. Intimacy, a refuge. Parenthood whispered insistent. After tearful talks, we pursued fostering temporary homes for kids adrift. First came Mia, 12, wary-eyed from group homes, her sketches raw as my early ones. Why me? She asked, crayon trembling. Because we see you, Jordan said, kneeling, like we saw each other. She stayed 6 months, thawing into giggles over board games, her art show our pride. Adoption paths snaked bureaucratic, but hope fueled us. Tragedy struck swift, a call at 3 a.m., Jordan's voice fracturing. Shooting. Partner down. I raced to the hospital, corridors blurring, finding him in scrubs, antechamber, bloodshot eyes. Detective Ruiz, ambushed in a by-bust, clung to life. We sat vigil, my hand in his, words failing. Ruiz pulled through, scar but standing, his recovery barbecue our toast to fragility. Family, he rasped, hugging us. You too, anchors. The scare pivoted us toward permanence. IVF surrogacy talks evolved to adoption agency marathons. Home studies, interviews peeling our souls bare. Two dads? Cool if you're not jerks, a social worker quipped, greenlighting us. Enter Elias for curly mop and dimpled grin, bounce for neglect. Poor day, he toddled to us, fist clutching a toy truck. Home, home, Jordan echoed, tears streaming as papers signed. Fatherhood redefined chaos. Sippy cups and story hours, Jordan's lullabies gravelly sweet, my designs interrupted by crayon demands. Sleepless nights bonded us tighter, Elias's laughter the melody over our storms. Challenges crested, school meetings where teachers assumed, mom, playground taunts met with Jordan's calm advocacy. We're family. Period. Elias absorbed it, drawing us as superheroes, badge and brush conquering dragons. Milestones marked growth. His first pride wagon float, rainbows painted on cheeks. Our 10th anniversary vow renewal, Elias ring bearer in tiny tucks. You pulled daddy over? He asked later, giggling. Jordan winked. Best stop ever. Society shifted too. Seattle's pulse quickening with protections, but national tempests brewed. Bills eroding rights, headlines of violence. We marched, donated, Jordan testifying at hearings, voice thunder for the voiceless. A dark echo came. Harlan's appeal denied, but a copycat scandal rocked the department. Whispers of traitors revived. Jordan shielded Elias from news, but I saw the toll, nights staring at ceilings. One storm-lashed evening, Elias asleep, we confronted it on the porch, Rain's symphony. Does it ever end? I asked, head on his shoulder. He kissed my hair. The fight? No. But us? Eternal. Resolution came in legacy. Jordan's book, Badges and Bonds. Memoir weaving our tale with reform calls. Bestseller propelling change. My illustrations graced it, pages turning pain to power. Elias's 8th birthday, backyard bash with water balloons and cake, he piped up, I want to be an artist cop like you guys. We laughed, hugging him close. In that circle, fears vanquished, we glimpsed eternity. Love not just survived, but sown, reaping futures unbound. Decades turned brought silver threads to Jordan's temples, my laugh lines deepening like beloved maps. Elias, now teen tall at 13, navigated middle school mazes, crushes and codes, his coming out at 15 a quiet dinner revelation. I'm bi. Like both ways. We enveloped him, Jordan's arm around shoulders. Proud kid. Always. My sketchpad captured the moment. Elias's shy smile framed on his wall. But adolescence brewed tempests. Elias rebelled, sneaking to parties, grades slipping, echoes of our youthful folds. He hates me, Jordan fretted after a slammed door. He's testing, I soothed, drawing from therapy tools. Family counseling rebuilt bridges, Elias opening on foster scars mirroring Jordan's. I don't want to lose you, he confessed. You won't, we chorused. Jordan's career plateaued, Sergeant stasis, burnout nibbling. Retire? I suggested during an Olympics hike, evergreens whispering. He paused, breath fogging. Maybe. Teach at the academy? Mold the next guard. Transition eased. Adjunct professor, badge traded for lectures on ethics. His classroom a forge of fairness. Students, diverse tapestry, sought his counsel. How do you balance it all? Love, he'd say, eyes finding me in the back row. It's the compass. My art evolved. Murals for community centers, queer history etched in color. A commission for the precinct lobby. Intertwined figures, badge and palette, symbolizing alliance. Elias bloomed. Art club star, track team captain. First boyfriend, a gentle soul named Kai. Prom night, Jordan pinned the corsage, gruff. Hurt him, I'll cuff you. Laughter masked tears. Yet shadows intruded. National unrest peaked. Hate crime spiking. A local rally turning riot. Jordan, off duty, joined peacekeepers, baton and used, but heart heavy. It's like Harlan all over, he said post-shift, scrubbing phantom blood. We volunteered. LGBTQ plus hotline shifts. my voice soothing callers echoing my younger self. One night, a teen's despair. I can't tell them. You can. And if not, there's us. Handing the phone to Jordan, our tandem strength, a lifeline. Personal gales hit. My dad's letter, postmark LA, yellowed with regret. Saw your book. Proud. Me, Joe. Late but true. Jordan urged reply. I did, words wary but open. A visit followed. Awkward barbecue. Dad eyeing Jordan appraisingly, thawing over Elias's chatter. You built good, he grunted. Forgiveness, partial but potent. Jordan's health faltered, shoulder twinge from old wound flaring arthritis. PT sessions, my massages his reward. Old man, he joked. My man, I counter, kisses fervent. Elias's high school graduation dawned triumphant. Diploma clutched, valedictorian speech on curves unseen, loves that steer true. Applause roared. We beamed, empty nest looming. College drop-off at UW, dorm unpacked, hugs lingered. Call anytime, Jordan said, voice thick. Alone en route home, quiet settled, bittersweet. Our boy's flying, I said. Jordan squeezed the wheel. We taught him wings. Empty nest sparked reinvention. Travel, New York galleries, Jordan's first Broadway musical, Tears at La Cage, AUX Falls. Closer, Portland weekends, wine tastings and whispers. Anniversary 20, Hawaii Redux, Black Sands silvered by moon. Still dangerous? Jordan asked, waves lapping. Deadly, I murmured, pulling him down. Love, aged like fine scotch, burn eternal. Legacy rippled. Elias's engagement to Kai, wedding vows mirroring ours, in storms and stillness. Grandkids followed, twins, boisterous, our home chaos renewed. Retirement party for Jordan, Academy Hall packed, speeches saluting the cop who loved loud. His toast. From a rainy pull over to this, grateful for the man who made fear obsolete. Aging graced us, silver foxes, hands veined but clasped. Evenings on the porch, Elias's kids romping. We'd recount. Remember the siren? Best sound ever. In twilight's glow, our story whispered. Love's danger lies not in peril, but in its power to heal, to humanize, to endure, a beacon for those still folding, urging unfold. Sunsets shortened, but our days stretched rich. At 62, Jordan's lectures continued part-time, wisdom distilled for wide-eyed cadets. I curated exhibits, my retrospective at SAM drawing crowds, canvases chronicling our arc, from shadowed highway to sunlit harbors. Elias thrived, graphic designer like me, advocate like Jordan, family as anchor. Visits filled Sundays, grandkid soccer games, their cheers a symphony. Health's thief crept. My vision blurred, glasses upgraded. Jordan's knee buckled, can a Johnny prop. Doctor visits tandem, laughter defying decline. We're sinking even in creeks, he'd quip. A scare jolted, Jordan's chest twinge, ER, stent placed. Hospital bed, monitors beeping. He gripped my hand, not done yet. Grandkids need my bad jokes. Recovery wove us tighter, walk slowed but savored, my arm is steady. You saved me again, he whispered one dawn, birdsong chorus. Always, I replied, kissing knuckles. Community called, mentorship for foster youth, our home haven for stories shared. One boy, Jamal, 16 and adrift, sketched beside me. How do you know it gets better? Jordan, from the kitchen. Because we lived it. And love? It's the proof. Weddings dotted years, Elias's twins tying knots, rainbow ceremonies echoing ours. At one, Jordan danced with me, slow sway. Still got moves, Rivera. Only for you, Hayes. Reflections deepened. Memoirs updated, podcasts inviting our tale, from fear to forever. Listeners wrote, you gave me courage. Legacy's quiet crown, a scholarship fund, Hayes Rivera resilience, tuition for queer artists and officers in training. First recipient, a trans cadet, hugged us. Your story, it's mine now. Winters gentled, springs bloomed defiant. At 70, we revisited that highway, pull-over plaque mounted roadside, city tribute. Rain misted, Jordan's voice gravel soft. Pulled over here, found my road. I leaned in, foreheads touching. Dangerous feelings, best kind. Elias's family gathered often, stories circling like campfires. Grandkids probed, tell the cop story. Jordan's eyes twinkled. Once a siren wailed. Final chapter neared graceful. Bedside, hospice gentle, Jordan's hand in mine, Elias and kin near. No regrets, he murmured, breath feathering. None, I whispered, tears tracing paths. You made me brave. His smile, eternal, love you, Alex. Beyond the curves. He slipped peaceful, dawn gilding the room, sound whispering farewell. Grief's tide ebbed slow, but love's current carried. I lived on, sketches for grandkids, lectures in his stead, pride marches with Elias's are mine. Jordan's absence a hollow, filled by echoes, his laugh and wind, touch and sun. At 80, gallery wall bore our portrait, young us, eyes locked in that rainy light. Curator asked, "What's the story?" I smiled, voice steady, a pull over, a feeling, a life. In every heartbeat, he remained, the danger that dared me to feel, the love that proved humanity's deepest truth. Connection conquers all, leaving light where fear once ruled.